What is up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing great. I'm doing fine. Another day here on the server, playing Pleasant Valley V2. So, like usual, what are we going to do today? We're going to mow. That's our current job. We need to get mowing. We need to get some silage going, get some stuff done. Bit of bad news. Somebody decided to accept a contract. Now, it wasn't me, so I don't actually know who it was, but unfortunately by them accepting this contract, we are now $9,000 in the hole. So we're going to have to work on that. I'm going to unmute my Discord here. I'm joined on Discord by Mr. Norm. Good morning, Mr. Norm.
Hello, JJ.
How are you today?
Doing well.
Cool. So, like I was saying a second ago, we're going to go mowing today. So Mr. Norm is currently mowing up on field 53. And, well, I'm going to come mow down here by Kellogg's, and I'm trying to remember the name of the other factory that's down here. I know it's not Shell, because Shell's at the top of the hill. And I am wearing the wrong ball cap. Unfortunately, your sunglasses do not trigger your trackir. There we go. Frito-Lay, that's the other one. So it's Kellogg's in the back and Frito-Lay here in the front. Oh, start you back up. You're all lowered. Start the front mower. G. Start the back mower. Come back here. Is that going to pick them all up? Is that going to pick them all up? No. So, go to my trusty handy dandy backup phone. Is my Rocat open? I think Rocat's open. No, it won't come up. Oh, my back one come up. Here it comes. They should all go right back down. So for some reason it's not lowering my front one. I'll just do it manually. So we are not going to be using GPS on the fields just because they're not straight. So what I'm currently mowing is definitely not a straight field, so just double checking that it's leaving the swath properly. I'm going to need to turn the sensitivity down just a little bit on my trackir. But how is everyone today? I hope everyone's doing fine. Figured I'd start streaming today without Mr. Wheels. It's just me, myself, and Norm.
No internet connection? Or using too much data?
Remember when I mowed real life, we used to get in trouble for this, driving out on the pavement with our mowers on? I used to hate it, because you could pick up rocks and throw rocks across the yard, and it would damage your blades, and it was a nightmare. I used to have to hear about it every day. Didn't stop us though, we still did it. We sharpened our own blades at the time, so it's not like, we had a big deal to, well, you're causing someone else work. Well, causing yourself work, because we had to sharpen them anyway. I miss it some days, having to do that full time, all the time. Get up in the morning, beautiful day outside, you're outside in the sun all day, come home, have a cold beer, put your feet up. Those were the days. Now I come home, listen to my wife whine and complain about something. Or, if you guys were watching last night, make me a salty tea. Hey Bird, how are you today? Just doing a little bit of mowing, trying to get us out of the $4,000 or $9,000 in debt that we are. So I don't know. Somebody accepted a milk contract that we could not fulfill, and because we did not fulfill the milk contract, we were in debt. So we failed the contract, which A, lowers our rating, and B, charged us, what was it, 29,000, Norm?
I don't recall what it popped up as.
I think it was something like 29,000 that it charged us. So. Trying to make some silage here, get this made up, get this sold, and we should be back in business. I'm hoping. So other than mowing, we really don't have a whole lot going on the server today. Waiting for growth cycles to finish. That's about it. So, good thing is grass grows back pretty quick, so that's keeping us going. I finished picking up the grass that we were mowing in the stream last night on 53 due to the help of Norm. So we got that picked up, brought that down to Evan's farm, put it in the bunker there, because we are having issues up on Johnson farm with that bunker. We actually can't get it fully 100% cleaned out to refill it, so. But eventually someone will figure out a way to get the little bit of silage that's still in there out. And when they do, well, that'll be great. We can go back to using that one. But for right now, what we've been doing is we'll pick it up with the windrowers and we'll put it in the silo, like the actual silos that you put your grain crop in and stuff. We'll put them in there, and then we'll use our, as Bird likes to call them, our billboard trailer, and haul that to another farm to put it in the silage compactor or the silage clamps. So that should be working pretty well. I have been hearing that there's potentially a stream tonight by Dave. Don't quote me on that. I overheard it or overread it in another stream that there's possibly an update coming out today. Maybe it's this Friday. I'm not really 100% sure, but I know that was a possibility. So I'm looking forward to that, to seeing what's coming. From what I understand, is any updates he does is not actually going to require us to do a new save. So that should be good. But yeah, we're just taking them at one day at a time. I know I'd like to get into animals here sooner than later, but I don't want to continue selling silage or selling silt, even though it's really good money. It's just it breaks the game. We wanted to play this map a lot slower than what we have in the past to actually enjoy it, not get burnt out on it, and quite frankly, selling the silt put us about 2 weeks ahead of where we should be. So we actually own quite a bit of equipment that we shouldn't have yet, like all the forestry stuff from FDR. Totaled that together, it's probably about $2 million worth of equipment, and I sold, what was it, 10 trailer loads of silt and purchased it. So it's a little cheaty in that aspect. But I mean, that's what we're doing. We've actually talked about seeing if some of the warehouses doesn't hold it and actually continue digging it, because it's fun to do, but continue taking it out and shipping it to a warehouse to get stored until we need it for fertilizer. Which is another thing that we're going to need to look into, is how much silt's actually left in that fertilizer maker, and maybe getting the other one up and operational at the other end of the map as well. Because there is two fertilizer makers on the map, 2 seed makers on the map, so maybe we can look into getting the other one here set up and operational. But I figured I'd bring you guys something a little bit different. The last 2 streams started out with me either loading up logs or sitting in the salt pond, so... or silt pond. Sorry about that, guys. But how is everyone today anyway? Chat's really quiet. Not very many people want to talk today, or... I might have a big beard, but I'm not that scary. Hey Bob, how are you today? Hey Bird, if you're still watching, do you mind sending Bob the link that you sent Norm yesterday with all the mods that have been updated on the server? I tried sending him my Dropbox link, but I think it's still kicking an file or link not shareable or whatever. Account's been too busy, so we shut the links down. Yeah, 404 error. I'd really love to know what's going on with that. I might just have to make a new Dropbox. I really don't want to, but I do have another email that I could use for it, I guess. I almost feel like I'm doing this back in real life again. Round and round the field we go. When we're gonna stop, nobody knows. Good thing we have a windrower to come out here. I'll just windrow all this up. Make it a lot easier to pick it back up, so. I don't use mod manager. I use Dave's mod folder switcher, and that shouldn't be causing any problems with Dropbox. Because all it does is directs my farm sim folder to where it's supposed to go. That's about all that that does. So that's nothing to do with Dropbox. Leg spike there for some reason. I'm pretty sure Norm's probably just about done that top field, maybe. And he's running the 75%. 75, cool. I'll say I know he's running our John Deere no row, or our John Deere speed rower, I guess it was what it's called, or something like that. The auto self-propelled one. Yeah, as far as the folder switcher that I'm using, it shouldn't, because it doesn't do anything technically to my Dropbox. So I don't link it to my Dropbox. I purposely have it set to link that folder. That's all that it does, is links my folder to my farm sim. So, and I know Dave uses it, and all his guys, that's how they share the mods back and forth, is the same way. That's how we learned how to do it. To set it up that way, so that one guy can add mods to it, and as long as he has your email linked to as long as your email is linked to his Dropbox folder, it works. It's just whenever I share it with you guys, then it doesn't work. I know Wheels sent me an email, and I've added his name to my Dropbox list, so as soon as I add new mods to the server, he gets them automatically. So, hey Road Dog, how are you today? Hope you're doing better, buddy. I think it's just Dropbox, since, you know, we did change the map. You guys were all grabbing my Dropbox links to get the latest map updates and stuff, so that could be it too. I know there's a couple times that it's happened previously, and that's what it was, is a lot of you guys were trying to grab the mods from me too quickly, and Dropbox didn't like that because I was generating too many links or whatever, too many clicks for a free account. So that's their way of saying, hey, you should be paying for this service. No, as long as it's only your arm that hurts a little bit, I mean, that'll go away over time, right? So, you know, I've been watching a couple other people now that have streamed on this map, and you can definitely tell how people always like to start maps differently. So I've seen a couple people that have it on a server, they start out with all the default equipment, and, you know, if they don't have something, they just go without, or they have their priorities to get up right away, and that's a mandatory that they have to get up. And then, I mean, we start out, we sell off all of our equipment. We buy not all of the equipment that we want, but we buy most of it to get going good. So, like, we sold all the default stuff off, we all took a vote, and green won. No, it's alright, Bob. I have another email that if I want to use it, I'll just use that one. But, no. So we started out, we all took a vote, we wanted to see green again. So we went out and we bought a couple. I think I started out with one 8R, one 7R. We started out with a combine, a overloader, a truck, and a bigger tipper. And then a seeder that was a fair size, and everything like that. So nothing overly game ruining, but not also overly small where we're ripping out the last little bit of hairs that we have on our head. And we started it from there. Unfortunately, I found the exploit of silt. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I know Wheels did it as well. If you look into Wheels' video of his preview video for this map, first thing he looked at was the same thing I did. We both looked at pizza. So in Pleasant Valley Rivers, pizza was the big deal. You could buy pizza for really cheap from Don's Pizza. You could haul it to the museum and sell it. So Dave removed that from the map. I just happened to notice that silt sold. Ugh. As soon as I can talk, silt sells for 2K, and the only thing it costs you is the fuel. So it's not really that expensive to get into, and it makes you really good money. We have a 100K tipper, and we were getting about 200K from that one tipper. So I mean, you do that, what? 200K, do that 10 times, it's $1 million. So we did decide that it was a little cheaty. We were asked to stop doing it, so we agreed. Just to try to slow the game down here just a little bit and make us want to play it a little longer. Alright, bird. So we'll finish getting this field all mowed up, and then we'll bring in the windrower, make it all into some fairly neat rows, and then pick it all up. No, this is not necessarily the funnest of all things to watch, but you guys are coming here to watch a farm sim channel. So fortunately, this is part of farming, right? You gotta mow grass to make silage. You gotta make silage to either feed your cattle or sell. So, and on this map, you can actually use silage to make fuel. It's just really slow. And it's even slower. Right now, we still have our server set to pause when we are not online. So because we have it set to that, when nobody's online, the server pauses. So that means we no longer make fuel until someone comes back on the server, and then it restarts. That will be changing here soon. Actually, I almost changed it today, and I didn't. I figured I'd give us at least a couple more days just so everyone can get sorted in, and then I'll make that change. trees down here. That next contract, if I'm up this way, I'll drop. So clean out some of these fields a little bit and get some more grass production on the go. Road Dog, I do not pay for my server. The server is actually paid for by Buckshot. He pays for our server that we play on. So if that's the server you're talking about, or if you're talking about my Dropbox, I do not pay for that one either. That is just a free account over there. So, but no, our server is paid for by Mr. Buckshot. I do believe right now, actually, it's under donation from Wheels and Grandpa, I think is what we're using up right now. And I know there is plan and talk that when this server is actually out of time, we are actually switching our server providers. So currently we're under Clan Forge, and I think we're making the move over to Nitrado. And that should be in the near distant future, I think. Do you remember how much it is? The server that we play on, I think this one here is like 16 or 17 bucks a month, I think. They're not very expensive for farm sim servers. I know when you're looking at Minecraft servers, it's the same deal. Is if you want a vanilla server, they're fairly cheap, but once you start adding in more memory and more RAM, I think to run a Minecraft server with a decent modded Minecraft pack, so like the Direwolf 20 pack, it's about $1,000 to run one of those servers because of how much RAM and everything you need. But Farm Sim, you just get, I think it's a 5 gig memory, and I don't even know how much RAM you get, but we enjoy playing it as a group on the server. I don't think any of us that play on the server like to go back to single players. Even though some of us that are on the server, this is what we do. We stream or record YouTube, so we do have single player series. But we always come back to the server for that comical relief. And, you know, not having to do everything yourself. But I mean, if you're looking at getting your own server, my suggestion, shop around. Nitrado has usually good deals out. Clan Forge is okay. We just had issues with Clan Forge before, like around Christmas time. Nothing got said, and all of a sudden we lost everything. We had no access to our server whatsoever. We were locked out of their website. When we submitted a ticket, I believe they told us that there's nothing wrong, and then they sent us an email back a little bit later saying, hey, we do apologize, your entire cluster went down, so we're going to move you over to this different one. And by doing so, we actually had to restart our map, and we lost everything. It's all good, Road Dog. Alright, thank you, Bird. So if I remember, you have Farm Sim 17, don't you, Road Dog? And if you do, what maps are you currently playing on? I remember mowing a patch that was this big. I could download the game save every day, but it's kind of annoying because you have to go in and manually do it every time. But we didn't even know. Our server's been running great. It ran fine, and all of a sudden we lost everything. It was their cluster that ended up dying on them, and they just pretty much, they were kind enough, they moved us to another cluster. They did everything that they could. I think they actually gave us a couple days free kind of deal by moving us to the other cluster, but it is what it is. You're logging the Pacific Inlet. That's cool. As you know from watching, I do quite a bit of the logging on the server. And I've logged Pacific Inlet in 15. I've logged almost all of FDR's maps, except for his newest ones. I actually have access to his server if I wanted to. He's invited me over there several times. I played with him in 15. I think I'm in his season 8 on 15. I was over there with him for a little bit. And you know, in 17, I watch his streams every now and then, and I'll ask him questions. He told me that I should come back and join them again. But I told him I will someday, but right now I have my own server that I'm running. Well, not my own server, I guess. I just put a lot onto it. But I have this server to run and operate and to make sure it runs smooth. So if I can get this one going good enough with that it can run without me, I'd be more than willing a couple hours or whatever to jump over onto his. And hey Simon, how are you today, buddy? Just doing some of the glorious, non-fun field work here. Mowing the grass, gotta keep that cut down, right? Big plants like Kellogg's and Frito-Lay like to keep their grasses short, so. Could roleplay this out if we really wanted to. Yeah, this was back around Christmas time that we lost our server, and I'll be honest with you, at the time we weren't very far into the map that was on the server, and we really weren't playing it anyway, so it was no big deal. They just switched us over. Once Christmas was over and everything was settled down, I went in and I uploaded all of our mods again and got it all back going, so. I think around Christmas time anyway, we all kind of got lost in a game called Ark. So for us it was no big deal. If we had to restart, we'd restart, but that's what we did. We just put a new map up and started that with all of our mods again. But that was way back in the day. Feels like it anyway. It was, you know, Christmas time. I am using the John Deere 8R. I think I actually upgraded this one too. It's a 370 horsepower John Deere. It has if it's 370 horsepower, it is the 8375. And it's from TechAH Modding. They built it and released it. Sorry, this is an 8370, so it's a 370 horsepower. But it's modeled really nice. Some of the features on it that I like is you actually have variable front suspension on it. So if you can see it, the whole bonnet is actually moving up and down in the front. So I can do it just as easily, and it works really well. As far as inside the cabin, it has all kinds of IC. So if I hit my spacebar, I have steering column comes in and out. This one here actually is your daytime running lights in the bottom. If I click in the right spot, it's not going to click in the right spot. Let's bring my seat back. I can actually turn on the front and back wiper. Hoping I just shut off the wiper. There it is. So bring that back. You have sun shades. So you have one here. None on the driver's side, one here on the passenger side that open and close. You have two LED dome lights. Come on, there it is. There's your first one and your other one. So if you had to work at night and view something, you could turn on your interior lights. Yeah, the thing is they don't have the licensing for it, so that's why they don't do it. You can actually click here and you can open and close your door. I'm going to leave that open. You have your GPS monitor, or you have your tack screen, which shows all your different implements. You can look behind you, and my trackir is acting a little weird today. You can open up your back and close your back window. I think that's it for that side. Oh, you have your armrest here that you can put up and down. The one down here is actually to move your whole steering column up and down, just by hitting that one. And then your seat actually rotates. So you can rotate your seat to help you look backwards, causing you less strain on your neck. And then I have trackir. Since I know you're new to the channel, that's how I can look around just by moving my head and stuff. So I'm running trackir. Another thing that this tractor has is if I look out the door, or let's just get out of the tractor, and I mean, it's detailed really nice. It has blue LED lights everywhere, but what I really like about it is this. And it's not going to do it. You actually have a walk-in animation. So you walk into the tractor, it sits you down, and then closes your door. And then it has all your lights are blue. 4-ways, beacons, it has the whole 9. So if I go out here, you'll see my strobes up top, full LED blue all the way around. And it works really nice, like really nice when you're at night. It lights up in front of you really well. They're running floods, I think, instead of spots, so works really good. Road cool. I've learned a lot from FDR, and you are for Farming Simulator. It wasn't for you guys, I don't know what I would have done. Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot of farming from watching YouTube and stuff, like, for gaming wise. But I really enjoy Farm Sim. I've learned a lot in Farm Sim. A lot that I've learned in Farm Sim, I actually bring back to the real life farm. And I know it sounds weird to hear, but like a lot of the terminology and a lot of the everything that we do in Farm Sim relates back to something we really do on the farm. So, boost to 400 horsepower. We have one where I work. So annoying they don't have them on JD's on PS4. Yeah, we went through that one. This was not the French one, no. That was the 5M series that was French, Simon. This one's not. John Deere will probably never come on board. They want way too much to have their licensing. That is why Giants doesn't go with them. They want so much money for licensing, it's not even funny anymore. Because John Deere has their own game out. So it's not very good. My brother-in-law had it, and apparently I turned on my daytime runnings. So if you look there, that's actually daytime running. Oh, no, that was just my regular lights. Do I reckon John Deere's will ever come to console? No. I hate to say it, but no. Mad Mecha 01 is following on Twitch. Thank you for that one. I appreciate a lot. And Mr. Simon, I believe after last night's stream, maybe early this morning, I had a couple of subs to me as well that weren't during the stream, so. But yeah, unfortunately, due to licensing, I don't think consoles will ever receive John Deere's. That's why I like having them here on PC. We do get around licensing, so that's why I enjoy playing it here on computer. I know a lot of guys that I watch that have played it on consoles have made that switch. They're now strictly on PC. The John Deere game, the name of it's escaping my tongue. I think it was released back in like 2010. I know my brother-in-law had it, and it's actually what got me into looking into farming games. So at the time, my wife was in school, we didn't have a whole lot of money coming in, and we had no internet at the time. And my brother-in-law said, well, I have this game. So I tried it, and I beat it. So it's not at all like this. It was pretty much you're a hired worker. You go here, there, everywhere, picking up random loads, driving random pieces of equipment throughout the field. That's about it. So I enjoyed it, and it got me thinking, well, what other games are out there? So when we got our internet back, I started on YouTube. Actually, I started with Google, and I Googled farming games for PC. So this one came out. This one came up, it was Farm Sim 13 at the time. So I looked in the Steam store, it was like $15, so I bought it. And I've been hooked ever since. What about Caterpillar? Will you ever come to the Mom for Me simulator game? Caterpillar's in the game. But that's the thing though, Simon, is John Deere has the rights to whatever they want to do, right? So they're saying, we'll come to your game, but we want so much money for licensing. And Giant said no, from what I understand. But it's the way it goes. I mean, you buy a John Deere, you're buying a John Deere. You're buying big and you're buying green. You're buying the name. That's why John Deere can get away with selling a 90 horsepower tractor for $120,000 when he can go down to case. Or actually, I shouldn't say case. I know our tractor is a 90 horsepower tractor that we have up at the farm. I think we paid $95,000 for it. Yes, it's a knockoff tractor. It's not a great big, it's not a New Holland for being blue. But it's made in the same plant. It has all the same parts. So, it's the way it is. I mean, when you buy John Deere, you're paying expensive. Everything John Deere is expensive. Hence why they paint it green. Because that's all it is money. I remember when I worked for the lawn care company, we had 4 John Deere 8Rs. 3 John Deere 3020s, I think it was. Because that's one of the ones that I drove. But other than that, we rented everything. We rented all of our Volvo wheel loaders that we brought in, and we bring in a lot. Other than that, all of our salt trucks we owned because we use them in the summer too. So not only were they salt trucks because of the dump boxes on them, we just took everything down and put other stuff up. How do you pull up the factory menu? It is the question mark button on your keyboard. Or I think it's backslash is the same button. That's how you pull up the factory menu. But I mean, it is what it is. Eventually John Deere is going to get in the game. I know the FS community should boycott them in real life until they break. Yeah, that's not going to happen. John Deere's international. Just because, what is it? We have 50,000 players in Farm Sim or whatever it is. It's not going to happen. I think that's what it is, Bird. John Deere's North America Farmer or something like that. And yeah, Pure, I agree. John Deere's are amazing. My wife's grandfather owned a John Deere. He's always been a huge John Deere fan. We always made the comments that if he ever won the lottery, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to buy a house. His plan was to buy a 20-acre plot, and the entire 20-acre property was becoming a huge barn. It was going to be wall-to-wall and multiple floors. And every floor is going to be green. Every floor is going to have a John Deere on it. He loved John Deere. He was so proud of his John Deere. I think he did field work with his, and he had an older style 2-wheel drive, no cab on it whatsoever, and I think it hit the field once, maybe twice. Unfortunately, it just wasn't heavy enough with the plow that he had, so he had an old school plow where it actually took 2 people to operate it, one on the tractor, one walking behind to flip it and all that. So when they started going, I remember hearing the stories because it was him and his son that were doing it. and he was getting really upset because he was supposed to be going straight, but the whole tractor was turning, and it was because the front steer wheels weren't even on the ground. It just kept bobbing up and down, so he had to go back and he picked up his old school Massey and used that, so it worked really well. Too bad sunroof doesn't leak. Sunroof on what, Bird? My tractor? And silly to get multiple floors, just buy more land. Better investment. Yeah, well, he just wanted it all in one building. So you walk into the building, it was going to be all John Deere's. That was it. Everything John Deere. But he died, I think it's been 3 years now since he passed away. And unfortunately, they had to sell his John Deere, but it did go to a wonderful home. And when we asked about it, because he always submitted it into one of my area, did a like a town day. He always brought that down to the down to the show and entered it into the parade. And I do believe that the owners of that property, that tractor now, do the same. So, yeah, that was his expertise and his forte was big green tractors. I know my farm, whenever I get it in real life, I'm going to own a John Deere. That is my plan. I don't plan on owning red. I don't want to be stuck in a ditch somewhere. I want a John Deere. I know it'll come in and come out. And I know it'll be American made, or even if it's European made, I can still get parts for it a lot quicker than half the case dealers probably do. I've always been a big green fan, so. Now we have several. Let's see. I'll bring up my store here, guys. Actually, I'm going to jump out for a second. Now I'm going to bring up my store. Nope. Now I'm going to bring up my store. Yeah, John Deeres are very tough to kill. That's why we run them for snow removal. It's almost impossible to kill them. Scroll to the very back of my list. So I have the John Deere 9RT. A really good tractor. I actually have one here on the map. I have the John Deere 9620RX, which is the tracks. I really wish I had it in the rubbers too, in the tires. But it works really well. This Series 5M is actually the French one, Simon. I actually went out and changed all this so that it's now English. So originally it was a vac weight and the a vac whatever 3-point is in French. So they changed all that. So I changed all this so that it's proper now. So you have front weight, front 3-point there, front load attacher with or without. And then the engine setup, you have the 5085M, the 5095M, 9105, 5115, 5125, 5130. And as you can see, it's every 5-ish all the way up. I think its max is the 5150M, which is, 5150M, which is 150 horsepower. So that's their 5M series tractors. And then the wheel setup on it is actually really neat. So here's just your basic tire setup. And then you have the row crop tires here. Another set of wider tires. You actually have the turf tires, which I really like. Actually, the tractor and the snow removal that I did, that's actually what we drove, was turf tires. We also used it in the summer for doing big mowing. So what I'm doing now, we actually had an 8-foot mower that we use a pull behind. We use that on our big fields and stuff that we had to do. This one, I don't remember what this one is, but it's another set of tires. I know this one has crawler tires as well. Yeah, this one here is rear crawler tires. So the Pirelli front tires with rear crawlers. I think this one here is the all-round crawlers. And then here's your full crawler small, full crawler large, so 2 different style crawlers. And then design is actually, so here's a basic tractor, which is just a basic tractor. So it's like a compact tractor, no cage, no anything. You have it here like the picture shows. It has the roll bar on the top. It also comes with the canopy, so it has the roll bar, then the canopy, but your cabin doors and stuff are still exposed. And then you have here with cabin, which is your full enclosure cabin. So it was a really nice tractor. When I seen it, I really liked it, so I put it on the server and I put it in my Let's Play. Here's the John Deere 7R and the 8R series. They're both made by the same guys, trackir. They made both of these. And this one here, it has front weight, front hydraulic, engine setup. You have the 7290R or you have the 7310R. That's the only two for this one. You have the Turborg or Terrellborg, I believe, are American style. You have the Michelin 70R42s, which is American style. The Michelin's with twins, so it's dual wheels all around. The Borg, I'm just going to call them the Borg tires, with twins as well, so it's all around twins. I think that's the basic, yeah, and then you're just back into it, so none of the tires here have wheel weights. Design here is basic. You have Green Star Ready, which is GPS, doesn't really do a whole lot, just adds a monitor. And then you have GPS plus Warning Star, or just basic. So with GPS with Warning Star, it actually puts warning pads out here that you can open and close. And then you have your GPS unit inside, and then design here is new exhaust or old exhaust. I've never purchased both of them, sat them side by side to see what the difference is. I mean, old exhaust is an extra $250 versus, you know, the new exhaust is $1,000. And then when you get into the 8Rs, it's the same. You have your front weight, front hydraulic. This one here, it's the 8245R, which is their base model, which is 245 horsepower. And that actually goes up to the 8400, which is 400 horsepower. And then, you know, you have the 3070, which is what I'm currently in. 3045, 3020, 295, 270, 245s are basic. Same here, their wheel setups. You have the basic Borg tires, or you have the Borg tires with the rear weights. You also have the Michelin tires, Michelins with rear weights, Michelins with duals, or the Borgs with duals. And then your design here, basic, it's the same thing again. You have your Green Star, you have your Green Star plus warning tabs, or just your basic setup. So I usually always buy them with Green Star and warning tabs. I mean, that's some of the John Deere tractors we have. We have John Deere combines too. Harvesters. Of course, they're at the end. We have the 9670i. Really nice John Deere as well. It actually has the monitor set up on this one. I really like it. I really wish I could turn the monitor on this one into some of these guys. And that would be my cell phone. I have no clue who it is, so I'm not entering. We also have the Forage Harvest John Deere. So we have the John Deere 8000 series. It has two different setups. So it has the 8300i, which is 445 or 455 horsepower. Or we have the 86i, which is 582 horsepower. That's cool, Simon. I've never heard of the Minneapolis, the Nuttifier, and the John Brown X Airfield tractors. I've never heard of those. This one actually has three, I guess. It also has the 8800i. I agree, Simon. We do need a set of pink John Deere tractors. What else do I have for John Deere? I have John Deere plow cultivator. So I have John Deere's disc plow, which is a 5-section float. That was actually, sorry, this one's the ripper, so it's not actually the disc one, it's actually the shank. So it's a John Deere 5-section shank ripper. And then for plows is their disc plow. So they're flex disc plow. I don't know why there's two in here, but there is. They're both the exact same amount of money. I don't even know what the difference is between the two. They're so identical. I think it's just different mod file name. For sowers, I have the 8920 or the 1890 and the 9110. They're both the same. The only difference is one's 14 meters, one's 22 meters. And then I have the DB60. No, there's no John Deere Holiday yet. Sprayers, I think I actually have the John Deere R4045. And that one comes with interchangeable, so I can actually use it as a wet sprayer or dry sprayer. So it comes with both of those sprayer bodies. What else do I have for John Deere? I have a lot of John Deere. John Deere mowers, I have the W20 260 windrower and the 995 rotatory head for it. I don't have any John Deere wheel loaders, skid steers. I don't think I even have a John Deere baler, to be honest. I don't. I have one in one of my mod folders, but it's not in here. Don't have their skid steer. Don't have any trucks that are John Deere, dollies, tippers. None of that are John Deere, but we have quite a bit of John Deere. I like them. A lot of the guys enjoy driving them, so... Yeah, I do have a John Deere buncher. I'm currently not using it though. That one's one of FDR's, but we have, like I said, we have quite a bit of John Deere on our maps. So, I mean, we have primarily all of our tractors are John Deere right now. I think I have one Massey Ferguson that I bought this morning, and then I also have a JCB Fast Track. So, but we all like them, and just get back here to mowing so you guys don't have to continue looking through our store. So how is everyone today anyway? It's been a while since I asked. I know there's a lot of people out there now watching. Hope everyone's having a great day. I know I am. It's Tuesday. I'm probably going to stream until my wife gets home, and then I'm probably going to end my stream there. Usually on Tuesdays, my wife and I, we watch Chicago Fire, NCIS, and then NCIS New Orleans. That's our Friday routine, or our Tuesday routine. Usually Gold Rush is on as well, but they ended their series a little while ago. But no, that's usually what we do on Tuesdays. We kind of do, you know, husband and wife night kind of deal, kind of like a date night, but we watch our TV shows. So I think Chicago Fire starts at 8 o'clock ish my time. I know my wife's out right now with my daughter. My brother's wife actually had one of her uncles pass away, so she wanted to go down to the viewing of that. So my wife's just waiting at their place because she runs an in-home daycare. So unfortunately one of the kids wasn't able to get picked up on time, so my wife went down because she's trained in the field too. So if there was anything that could be said, my wife is fully covered and trained. But she went down to watch him until the parents got there. Which is funny because I used to work with the father We did snow removal together a couple years ago, so. Yeah, my wife likes the PD one. I don't know. I didn't like it as much. And I mean, I know the crossover is quite a bit on the mall actually now, because they now have Chicago Med, so you actually see a lot of the paramedics and stuff on Med. So you'll see Dawson and Shay and all those guys over on Med. Actually, I think Shay died a while ago, but you'll see them over on Med. And then you have Chicago PD. You usually see like Mulch, you'll see over there. You'll see Christopher over there. And then what other ones is there now? There's now Chicago Justice that just started this year. I know the first episode was a huge crossover for Chicago Justice, where you actually seen Chicago Med staff, Chicago Fire staff, and Chicago PD were all on that one show. And now every now and then, depending on the case, you'll see them cross over. But I think it's pretty neat that they went and they took that many shows, put them all together kind of deal. All Chicago based, right? So you'd expect there to be at least some kinds of crossovers. Especially season finales. Where they can do that, right? Tie one, go into the next, into the next, into the next, and make it crossover on 4 different episodes. Yeah, and NYPD crosses over as well, yeah. I think Chicago Justice first episode, it was like all of them. It was huge. I think it was 4 or 5 different shows all tied into one. I know my wife was watching... What was it she was watching? Chicago PD or something like that. And Ambo 61 was in it, responding to a call. It didn't happen in Chicago Fire, it just... In PD, they happened to be responding to the calls, so... It's always interesting to see when shows can actually do that and play it properly, and the characters don't get spun out of what they do, right? So, I mean, costume design's pretty easy. I mean, you just wear your costume from the other show, or your outfit from the other show. But it's also interesting to see that the characters, even though they're on a completely different show, still have that same meaner about them. They don't change their repertoire, or whatever it is you want to call it. So I'm sure Mr. Norm's probably done that field by now, and probably windrowed it twice. It's probably halfway picked up there. The time that it's taken me to mow this one.
2 passes away from done.
I thought about there's a Krone Big M mower, which I think is like 18 meter work width, give or take. But I don't know, I kind of like mowing it this way with butterflies and the no row, or whatever you want to call it, the speed rower. Because I mean, real life, I know you do see the bigger Krone M, because that isn't a real life mower, but not as much. I mean, I know around my area, it's usually mowers like this. You have triples, or you have the Mokos, or New Holland disc binds. Yeah, Simon, I usually have a YouTube video, or I'll watch something on Netflix going when I'm not streaming, or occasionally I'll watch some of the Twitch streamers that I know. I'll go over and I'll watch them and intermingle with those guys, but other than Tuesdays is pretty much the only day that I really sit down and watch TV with my wife, so I don't even know what we're going to make for supper. I'm going to try to convince her, I guess, to make something for supper tonight. I made supper last night, so it's her turn. So if you guys are new to the channel and you haven't done so yet, don't forget, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. If you're over on Twitch, don't forget, guys, hit that follow button. I'm not going to sound greedy, you know, I'd like to join the affiliate program over on Twitch, if possible. and that can't be done without your guys' support and your guys' help. So I like to see me get there. I know Mr. Wheels applied or got the email for it last night. He said in his stream that he's been approved for it, so we're gonna have to see what comes out of that. From what I'm understanding is if it does happen the way that they're talking and the way that I've been seeing, unfortunately if I get the affiliate program over on Twitch, I may have to stop streaming on YouTube. Oh, I would surprise her and order a pizza, Bob, but I think I have $10. So I don't have enough money yet to order a pizza. So, but no, I like to join the affiliate program, but as I was saying, from what I understand, once you become an affiliate, is the same as becoming, almost the same as becoming a, having subscribers on, or the word that I'm looking for is on the tip of my tongue. Same as becoming a partner on Twitch. They don't like you to stream on other venues. So if I get my affiliate, and I'm not sure how Wheels is going to handle this, we may have to stop streaming on YouTube and just archiving our streams over on YouTube. I know that is a possibility to do. And I mean, our view's not going to change. We're going to still doing, as far as I know, we're still going to keep up. Like, I can't talk for Wheels, I can talk for myself. But as far as I know, I'm still going to continue doing my YouTube, but it might not be the streams. It might just be archives, so you guys will actually, I'll post that I'm streaming on Twitch, and then the day after, I'll put it on YouTube. So, we'll have to see where that goes once I know more info, if I ever get accepted to it. Yeah, Simon, she'd waste it on pizza with pineapples. That's what she likes, so. I don't know. I might just ask her to cook up some more pasta. We had spaghetti last night, and there was still some sauce and stuff left over, so I might just ask her to cook up some more pasta and pretty much have leftovers with fresh pasta. So I'll have to wait and see. I know she just got home. I just seen her walking past the apartment windows, so, and heard the door opening behind me. Yeah, guys, I was kind of hoping to get a little more accomplished in this. I've now been live for an hour and 12 minutes. I'll probably keep going until at least this field is done. Maybe go up and give my hand windrowing it his field so that I can bring the windrower back down here. Actually, looks like he's bringing me down the windrower. I was just talking about that, actually. Do you want to make up some pasta? So I guess she's making up pasta, and since I haven't heard my daughter yet, looks like she's still sleeping, so. No, she's not sleeping? If you send Edme a message, she probably wants her again. She was talking about it when I brought Mary back home. She doesn't want out of her car seat. She doesn't want to get put into her car seat, and then once you put her in her car seat, she doesn't want to get out of it. So. Everything okay with you? I'll be right back, guys. I'm just gonna mute my mic here for a second. Alright guys, something's come up. I need to go and get this sorted out. My wife just got home and there's a funky smell in my apartment building and I know what it is. So I'm gonna go open all the windows in the hallway. Hopefully we can get rid of it because it's giving me a massive headache. But yeah guys, I'm sorry that this is a shorter stream. I know I've been doing 5 hours plus. But this one here is going to be down to about an hour and 20 minutes or so by the time I'm done this. Stefan Drusel, I'm sure I just murdered your name, but hello from Germany, hello from Canada, right back to you. Unfortunately, you're catching me here right at my wrapping up point for the fact that something's come up real life that I need to deal with. So I hope you guys are all having a good night. Depending on how late it is, I may come back later on tonight or I might not. I'm not really sure. But if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget, comment, rate, subscribe. And I know you guys can't really comment because it's a live stream. But if you guys are watching this back over in the archives, you definitely can comment. So comment, rate, subscribe, all of that is good. If you're new to the channel and you're on YouTube, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Or as I said the other night, if you're new to the channel, hit that congratulations button, because we did hit 100 subs over on YouTube, and I do appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you guys are watching this over on Twitch, don't forget to hit that follow button as well. It means a lot to me, guys. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day.